Right now, the Tempe City Council looking at renaming several parks and streets after learning the current names come from members of the KKK. There are 3 parks and 3 streets named after men who were members of the KKK. City officials say a staff member at the Tempe History Museum recently alerted them about this issue, and that's when they started doing some research as well. Those former leaders, men who were prominent members of the Tempe community back in the 1920s, when the KKK was seeing a resurgence across the country. ABC 15's Heidi Goitia taking a deeper dive into the history behind those names.
Tempe, Arizona 100 years ago. You'd find Laird's Pharmacy on the corner of 5th Street and Mill, owned by Hugh Laird, a pharmacist, 2-time mayor, and dues-paying member of the KKK.
I remember when it was a drugstore. That's how I remember it. And Laird's Pharmacy.
Historian Marshall Trimble remembers that building and says it wasn't uncommon for community leaders to be KKK members.
I like to call it a fad because it didn't last very long. It was different. It seemed kind of, maybe they thought it was cool. It was kind of a fraternal thing.
Doing a little research of our own, we found that, like Laird, many other men in the white supremacist group held prestigious positions in Tempe as well. Gilliland was a business owner, Harrelson a banker, all finding themselves concerned with the changes in immigration and religion.
And Catholics. I think that was the kicker. And America had been a Protestant country pretty much. And all of a sudden, people were seeing changes, and they couldn't take it.
Trimble believes they likely weren't ashamed to be associated with the KKK. Instead, many were proud.
They had parades, and they had the big one in Washington in 1925, where they paraded, and the deal was you couldn't wear a mask. You had to have an open face. Well, they didn't care.
The KKK's resurgence was short-lived here in Arizona, fading around 1925.
After these people, they were intellectual, like you say, doctors and such. I think after they had time to reflect on it, I think they thought, what am I doing here? I met some Catholics. They're not bad people at all.
But the landmarks named after them remain for now. In Tempe, Heidi Goitia, ABC 15, Arizona.